Hello, Hero Collectors here. How's it going, everybody? Hope you all are doing fantastic. I know I am. And today we're going to be doing a quick fire review on 3 Transformers Hasbro figures that I picked up recently. Here we have the Walmart exclusive Legacy Lockdown figure. We have the Studio Series 86 Bumblebee, and then the Doom and Destruction 2-pack Bludgeon from Amazon. I've gotten all of these recently and decided to just throw them all into one video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, starting off these quick-fire reviews, let's begin with the Studio Series 86 Bumblebee. He is very small for a deluxe, but do not take that away from him. He is very posable. There's tons of sculpt, lots of really good engineering to make this figure transform in such a compact manner. He has no parts forming like the Netflix design does, and I do have the Netflix figure, and still I'm very happy to have that one, but this one takes it up another level. You do not need to take the entire back piece of this figure off to form the actual vehicle mode. Everything compacts really easily. It is a fun and quick transformation. I can probably do it in just under 2 minutes, maybe even a minute if I'm really forced to, but it's just a fun little toy. You know, Transformers are toys, and they are meant to be fun, and this one really has that feeling. I do appreciate that even though he is small, he is able to have some really great range. The arms reach just about every point you need, uninterrupted. Maybe some crossbodies limited, but even then you can turn the arm a little bit and use the bicep. The legs do run into an issue that I will talk about in a minute, but otherwise they can do the full splits and, reach 90 at the knee. He's got thigh cut and, of course, ankle pivot. And even a waist swivel. Of course, no ab crunch, but that is fine. He doesn't really necessarily need one. I do really appreciate all the sculpting. It's not a licensed Beetle vehicle, but the look of it definitely gets close to that, and even in the robot mode, the head is sculpted and painted really nicely. I really like the silver used for the face, and just overall, it is a fun little compact character toy, and I just enjoy having him in hand. He was a really fun desk figure to just have and play around with, and that's kind of going to be the theme of this video. But getting into the faults, the bad points of this figure, the ankle articulation is just strange. It's really high up on the leg. It's more like a shin pivot rather than an ankle pivot. And while I do like how you can kind of point the toes with the way that the ankle's designed, it's just really high up on the figure and makes the foot kind of feel real, I don't know, blockish, like cinder blockish, like he's got cinder blocks on his feet type deal. It's not horrible, it's just kind of, I don't know, distracting to a point. And then, if I could have another complaint, it'd be more accessories. This is a deluxe figure, and yeah, it's all brand new sculpting, but all he came with was a blaster, and that's it. Would have been nice to maybe get some blast effects to go with the blaster. I always appreciate getting those from the Transformers figures. Yeah, maybe some Energon cubes, just something to help fill out the packaging. It just would have been really nice. But otherwise, this Bumblebee is a fun figure, and in terms of rating, I am going to give him a 9 out of 10. Moving on to Lockdown, this is a character I'm not super familiar with, other than the Transformers live-action movie that he appears in. I believe that one was Age of Extinction. But the figure and design just kind of caught my eye, and I just had to get him. He was a Walmart exclusive. I was able to get the pre-order in, and when he came in, I was pretty happy. And I've had a good time transforming him back and forth. Like B, he was a desk figure for a while, where I just kind of fiddled around with him and did a lot. And what's nice is he comes with a lot of accessories that are just kind of built into the design, like the exhausts that you can put on the sides, the potential guns that end up being like the rear window, the engine block, which is kind of guns, kind of 2 different guns, and then he's got the hook, which all are really nice. He is built off in an already existing mold that is intended to be kind of like an armorizer type deal, which is fun. It makes transforming a different experience because you can literally take him apart in 3 different areas and then reassemble him and transform him that way. You know, it's a different experience being able to take your Transformer apart, transform it separately, put it all together, and it still comes together. I think engineering-wise, that's pretty fantastic that they were able to pull all that off for a deluxe figure like this. And yes, the mold has been reused several times, so like they really got their money's worth, but on him it really does kind of work. He is really Mad Maxy in the sense of he looks like a rough, scary type of vehicle, and the robot mode even has that feeling as well. But getting into some of the bad. So I'm going to start off here and say that I have a bit of choice paralysis with this guy. All the accessories, yes, I can put in different combinations, different places on the figure, but I don't know where I want to put them. Like the exhausts, I have them on his back currently, and I have them pointing down, but I could have them pointing up. I could put them on his shoulders, I could put them on his wrists, and I can put them on his legs, and it all works, and I don't know which look I prefer. And this is kind of a half good, half bad thing. The rear window gun accessory things can be used to extend his legs to kind of emulate the old animated design, and I think the old figures as well, which is really cool, and I end up doing that for my figure because it makes him taller and more intimidating, but then I lose guns for him, and when I just have the hook in the hand, it's really dinky and not really intimidating. So what I had to do is I stole a gun from my Netflix Bumblebee and attached that to the hook to make it less dinky and more actually intimidating and actually work with the character for poses and whatnot. So like choice paralysis wise, I could have him tall but I lose guns, or I could have him shorter and have guns but also have an extra gun, because what if I want to put the hook in one of the guns? I just fall apart when trying to decide what is my definitive look for this guy, and while it's not super frustrating, it does just kind of eat at me a little bit. And that's about the only real problem I have with the figure. I guess maybe adding some actual like neck articulation. He can only look side to side. That would have been really nice. And the shoulders are really limited because of how tall they are. They run into the rest of the body. So, I mean, those little points of articulation kind of get at me, but otherwise, it's fine. With all that being said, I'd give him a 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8. It's still a really good figure. It's just, I kind of fall apart after a while once I'm trying to decide, okay, what do I really like about him? Like, what is my definitive look? And I just really can't decide. So that's what drags it down, but it's still a fun figure. I'm really glad I picked it up, even though I don't know much about the character. The toy can speak for itself and be a good figure in your collection. Moving on to Bludgeon from the Doom and Destruction 2-pack, Amazon exclusive. This guy just took the gold and ran away with it. Of course, nostalgia has a lot to do with why I love this figure so much, but also he just kind of comes to life in your hands. The intimidating face sculpt is just crazy. I love the mouth spaghetti that he has, but also the red eyes against that like samurai helmet. It all just comes together so great. And the colors chosen here are really good. The gold is consistent between the plastic and the actual painted bits. The painted bits are a bit more shiny, but it's not super distracting between the two. I don't mind at all that he reuses the Tarn body. It's a really good body to use. The other Bludgeon figure that was in the main line used it as well. I think it makes for a good choice. It's got a lot of good articulation, especially for a samurai character. That is very important. And I could sit here and gush a lot about this figure, but really, he's just so good. And if you want to see like my unboxing of him, I did film and upload that, and giving him the sword really made him go up a notch in terms of playability and fun. I hardly use the guns that he came with, like cannons. He's primarily using the sword, and that's how he's going to be displayed in my collection. The sword is just incredible. Like, I don't know how to really say any more other than he just looks like a badass. And once you get him in the right pose, you just kind of want to run away because it is an intimidating, scary Decepticon. Now, getting into the bad of this figure, it's not much. The little, I don't know what you would call them, turrets, little, I don't know what they are really, but they come on the figure and they're attached on the back. It's not his guns. I'm not really sure what they are, but they're just on the back when you get the figure out of the packaging, and my copy, they just wanted to keep falling out. So I end up just taking them out completely and plugged in the cannons on the back to kind of emulate his flags that he usually has on his back. So while that was a problem, I was able to fix it pretty easily and still get the same effect. The crossbody motion is a little difficult. I was able to get some of it out of the figure, but there were a couple poses that I was really struggling to get. The way the shoulders are engineered, if you want to go kind of up and over the chest, it looks like his arm is just like dislocated. So that was kind of frustrating, but didn't detract too much from the fun. And then the chest plate, when I was trying to transform him, kept popping out of the actual, I guess it's not like a ball joint, but where it's clipped in, it just kept popping out, so that made transforming him kind of a pain. But I'm not going to be transforming him much while he's in the collection. He's going to be mostly an action figure, so that isn't too bad of a thing. But yeah, with all that considered, I'm going to give him a 9 out of 10. I had a blast with this guy. He really just stole the show. Just, Lockdown and Bumblebee are still really good figures, but Bludgeon just took home the gold and killed all the other contestants in the ring. That kind of thing. It was one of those kind of won you over releases. So I'm going to turn it over to me, and we're going to see if these figures have the fun factor and close out this video. All right, to close out this video, we're going to be doing my new segment, which is Does It Have Fun Factor, where we just talk about, do the figures here have that feeling that really brings them to life when you're posing them or when you're messing with them, playing with them, displaying them? Do they come to life in your hands? Does it have the fun factor? And you know what? I think all three of these have fun factor. I had a blast with all of them. They were all desk figs. I carried them around in our living room doing other things while also playing with them, transforming them, posing them, all of the above. They're all just a blast to have. I will say that Lockdown has the least amount of fun factor, but Bludgeon and Bumblebee easily. Just absolute fun figures to just pick up and pose. I am so glad I picked up all three of these. But you all let me know what you think down in the comments below. Also, while you're down there, don't forget to leave a like. Make sure you are subscribed. And with all of that, I hope you have a great day. And I will talk to you all in another video, another post, another time.